Welcome to Gray Propaganda, where we discuss the lies, falsehoods, and politics of the day. Today we have an article from MSNBC A Betrayal. RFK Jr.'s family members decry his endorsement of Trump's by Clarissa-Jan Lim. In a statement, five Kennedy siblings reiterated their support for the Harris-Walz ticket and called RFK's decision to back Trump a sad ending to a sad story. Now, I could forgive most Democrats for being ignorant about RFK's campaign, pushing Kamala through with no alternatives, and the media downright pushing anti RFK propaganda. But when it comes to his family, it feels more personal, a true and evil stab in the back. RFK has only ever wanted a fair shot to show his opinion and policies to the American people. However, what we have now is one of the two political parties working with the media to villainize what is a more sound and sane liberal platform compared to the Democratic Party today. What would be considered liberal just 15 years ago is now apparently a fascist and hate-filled platform. Let's take a look at the video first.
I want everyone to know that I am not terminating my campaign. I am simply suspending it and not ending it. My name will remain on the ballot in most states. If you live in a blue state, you can vote for me without harming or helping President Trump or Vice President Harris. In red states, the same will apply. I encourage you to vote for me. And if enough of you do vote for me, and neither of the major party candidates win 270 votes, which is quite possible. In fact, today our polling shows them tying at 269 to 269. And I could conceivably still end up in the White House in a contingent election. Three great causes drove me to enter this race in the first place, primarily. And these are the principal causes that persuaded me to leave the Democratic Party and run as an independent. And now to throw my support to President Trump. President Trump says that he will reopen negotiations with President Putin and end the war overnight as soon as he becomes president. This alone would justify my support for his campaign. Last summer, it looked like no candidate was willing to negotiate a quick end to the Ukraine war, to tackle chronic disease epidemic, to protect free speech, our constitutional freedoms, to clean corporate influence out of our government, or to defy the neocons and their agenda of endless military adventurism. But now one of the two candidates has adopted these issues as his own, to the point where he has asked to enlist me in his administration.
So there in the video, we have RFK not officially dropping out of the race, but endorsing Trump. Now, in this article, we start with RFK Jr.'s family members have denounced his decision to endorse Trump after he dropped out of the presidential race. Well, calling it a betrayal of their family values. I think that would be quite the opposite. These family members denouncing him and promoting Harris feels like such a stab in the back after everything that the media and Harris has done to RFK. I don't understand this kind of betrayal on their part, not RFK. In a statement released shortly after Kennedy announced Friday that he is suspending his independent bid for president and backing the Republican nominee, five of his siblings reiterated their support for the Democratic ticket and criticized their brother. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear, they wrote. It is a sad ending to a sad story. Only thing I find sad here is their family members' betrayal of a sensible platform and the values that we hold dear. The statement was signed by five of 8 surviving siblings. Here we have a ex post from Kerry Kennedy, which says, "I am sharing a personal statement that my family and I have made in response to my brother's announcement. Statement on Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s announcement today. We want an America filled with hope and bound together by a shared vision of a brighter future, a future defined by individual freedom, economic promise, and national pride. We believe in Harris and Walz. Our brother Bobby's decision to endorse Trump today is a betrayal of the values that our father and our family hold most dear. It is a sad ending to a sad story." And then it is signed by the 5 other Kennedys. Now, what I find sad, again, is their betrayal. They're looking for a brighter future, individual freedom, supporting Harris and looking for individual freedom or an economic promise where we've had record inflation the last 3.5 years under her administration with Biden. Individual freedoms from Comrade Kamala, not very likely. Furthermore, in the article we have here, Kennedy's family members have been open about their disdain for his long shot presidential bid. Several of them publicly backed President Joe Biden in April, and they have continued to support Harris-Walz ticket since Biden stepped aside. The article continues to talk about a few specific things like the 70-year-old anti-vaccine activist distrust in the government. Well, there's plenty to not trust about the government or their vaccine program, how it was rolled out, or in how mandatory it's been to keep your job or participate in society. In his speech in Arizona on Friday, Kennedy railed against what he called Democrats' continual legal warfare against him and Trump, and he accused the media of engaging in a conspiracy with Democrats to hinder his campaign. Kennedy also acknowledged that his involvement with Trump's campaign will be a difficult sacrifice for my wife and children, but is worthwhile to save children from processed foods and obesity. Very much so. Finishing off here, at a campaign rally later on Friday, Trump praised Kennedy, an opponent he once called the most radical left candidate in the race, as a great person. Kennedy's endorsement may ultimately carry little weight. However, he had been performing poorly in polls, and his campaign's fundraising had been in dire straits in recent months. But the Trump campaign may be banking on Kennedy bringing enough supporters to tip the scales in what is set to be a tight election, especially in critical swing states. And that's very much true. I believe he can tip the scales. And there is also a weird scenario where if we do get a tie in the Electoral College, we could see a President RFK Jr. But I will end the video there. Thanks for listening. See you next time.